Hello everyone, I am Kichi. If you want to know more about Russia and you understand my English, please welcome to my channel. Today I want to discuss with you some economical issues of this epidemic in three countries. It's Russia, where I live now, it's Belarus, where I was born, and in France that I visit more often. A week ago I thought that Lukashenko just a crazy dictator, but now I begin to think that maybe he is not so crazy. Maybe he had some advisors who explained him the situation and specific features of Belarus. Yesterday I received a comment from one of my subscribers who says that Lukashenko is just stupid, crazy, and he kind of source of infection, etc. But looks like not. There are another countries like Sweden, yes, who didn't put any quarantine, or because in Russia we don't have any quarantine, no self-isolation, etc. They try to pass through this epidemic as it is. And I'm the same, and I understand that Belarusian head Lukashenko, he thought a lot. He's not crazy guy, because he's manager of this small country during 20, I don't know, something years. People like him and he like people. Listen, I'm not a very huge supporter of official lines in anything, but and I can tell you that now to support Belarus is not official line. What is the specific of Belarus? It's only 10 millions of population on enough huge territory, so it's a low density. They don't spend the time all together. If you are in Minsk, you can see the streets, even if it's not any self-isolation, streets are almost empty, because the streets are huge, people live a bit far from another. Please, if you never was in Minsk, please visit. It's heritage of USSR, you will be impressed. And they offer 30 days without visa for visiting for tourists. For today they succeeded to have like 300-400 new cases per day. If you compare with Russia, where there is so-called quarantine, it's just nothing to compare. International Organization of Healthcare visited Belarus. They say that yes, it's a true date, it's really it's real numbers of infection. After that they say that only, yes, it's only very old people with a lot of different illnesses who are dying. There is no any young people. What I know about Belarus for today, I will tell you something what my mother explained to you. My mother is a religious woman, and 2 weeks ago I was crying on her. I explained it to her, please mom, don't go to any church because it's dangerous, etc. Today I talked with her. She said, daughter, listen, we have 300 gloves, we have different disinfections, we have masks, we don't stay close one to another in a church. I mean, she said we clean everything thousand times per day. She is absolutely sure. Of course, she pray, she believes in God, and she really believes that everything is clean in church. In a couple of days, it will be Sunday, it will be Orthodox Christian Easter, so I am not religious, but I will pray so that my mother didn't take any infection. So Belarusian people did it more smarter. They continue to work. They do small quarantine in that places where there was some cases, and they check contacts of first and second step with the people who was contaminated. So they check them. How it's in Russia? In Russia is absolutely terrible situation. We continue to not have any emergency regime. We continue to have these paid holidays. As Putin announced it 3 weeks ago, he did 3 speeches already. Every Wednesday he did a speech for nation, and that is funny that first 2 speeches and all experts coach experts say that both of 2 speeches was made it in one day. The difference that he sit in different pose. On first video he is like that, on second video he is more like that, and It's something about Putin, because second speech we was waiting during 1 hour, so it should be at 4, but they published this speech at 5. Kind of he's preparing this speech. As we don't have regime of emergency, it means that we don't have all these additional bonuses that we can have and at the regime of emergency. What it means? It means that people who have credit in the bank, and we have some credits in the bank, some loans, they continue to pay their credits. He announces that we can have these holidays, but no. Some of my friends who just apply to these holidays, bank answered to them, no, sorry, we don't have this order. So please pay as it should be. After that, Putin, in fact, he announced some kind of gifts, some help, but to receive this help, it's really very difficult. For example, I told about that already, so he announced that people who lose their job during this quarantine, self-isolation, they can apply to unemployment, and if they do that, they will receive 90,200. But this website doesn't work. You can't send employment. After that, if you want to get the status of unemployment, it's very difficult. And in fact, sometimes you have to prepare the documents during 6 months or something. And for the moment, of course, it's impossible to do because we stay at home. We are on self-isolation, so we can't prepare these documents, so we can't get this money. In conclusion, we have only one consequence, that people of another regions, they are angry on Moscovian, because it's only Moscovian who will get this help, kind of help. The state kind of going to help some business. For example, he says that we will help you to pay salary to your employees. We will give you 12,000 for every employees. But all these small businessmen, they explain that to get this help, it's really difficult. So, for example, they will pay this 12,000 only to that companies who keep it 90% of employees and who paid them salary. So, in fact, it's rich companies. It means that small companies, as they should die, they will die. One more measure, they offered the credit without additional extra payments for some companies to pay the salary. Only 150 companies all over Russia applied to this credit, because to apply this credit you should have, as you understand, some deposit. So it's as usually, you know, when you are rich, it's easy for you to get some credit. If you are poor, you can't get this credit. So I want to say that among these 150 companies, only 6 will have this credit. All in other companies, so these 150, it's companies who consider that they can follow to these demands, and only 6 of them got the credit. I have impression that everything what Putin tried to save, no, I don't say Putin, I don't know, government doesn't matter, power. We have impression that only strong companies and banks who really get support from the state. So in fact, it's the same supporting of companies of oligarchy and banks who belongs to power and to oligarchy. So small business will not survive. We don't have tax holidays, we have tax postponed, but anyway people have to pay this tax later. And if you don't work during 1 month and you are small enterprise, small business, you will not survive. Where is our money? Let's discuss where is our money. So you heard, if you follow some news about Russia, you heard that mayor of Moscow, Sobyanin, bought these blocks to recover the roads. They do that every year. In fact, it's additional extra money for pocket of Sobyanin. So after that, rating of Sobyanin decreased a bit, and that is funny that after that, level of contamination in Moscow by statistics decreased. So Sobyanin is a good mayor. As Putin dropped all our governors, because he said like, okay, every region of Russia decide how you will make your quarantine and how you will pass through this situation. So in the beginning, and let's explain you that administration in my country, it's the people who can't make any decisions. For a long time, all this hierarchy of administrations, all these mandarins, was built by the most important quality. It's loyalty to power or loyalty to your boss. Everybody knows how to build a career in Russia. You should be loyal to your boss. You lick his ass, you obey to him, you don't make any decision, you follow absolutely to his orders, and profit, you have a good career. In conclusion, we have this system of administrators who can't make any decisions. So what Putin said, he said that okay, decide yourself how it should be in your region, but if I will not like your decision, you could be convicted on 7 years for negligence. What governors did after that, they decided, okay, so we will do like in Moscow. They blocked people at home, even if it's a village and nobody is infected there, people stood at their houses. So these measures were exaggerated. People in small villages, they didn't like it. And it was the case with the village Zaokskaya. People from this village go to the road, to highway. They block it highway. How they block it highway? They just cross highway. So they block it highway. A governor arrives there and he asked what happened there. And the citizens of this village, they say, why we are blocked? They say that we have 13 cases of infection. We are really village. We know each another. We don't have any contamination. They say, you cheat us. We don't want to be blocked. We need to sell our milk and our eggs. Because if we will not do that, our village will die. They don't work on any plants who has money, it's farmers. They need to sell their food. From yesterday, governors began to be more conscious. They begin to open some places, especially some restaurants, etc., because they see the situation in their regions are stable, so they begin to be more brave. Being screened by this pandemic, there are some strange deals that we investigate occasionally. So first, please, Americans, explain what is the situation with this stupid breathing machine. In the beginning of April, all oppositional media discussed the news. In official media, it was said like Russia sent breathing machine to USA. Later, we investigated that they was sold. It was not like humanitarian help, they were sold. So we said, okay, we don't have enough of this breathing machine for ourselves, and we sell them to USA. Very good deal, and exactly in a good moment. And what we see is that Trump sending this breathing machine to Russia again. What is that? What Americans, please, what do you think about that? The second strange deal that happened now in Russia, and all economists, we understand that there is some trick, there is a trap, but we don't understand what is that. What happened? Then look the news. Central bank, it's emittent bank, central bank sold Sberbank to government. If you ask any economist, every economist will answer you, it's impossible because Sberbank belongs to government already. We feel that they just try to steal this money, but we don't understand how. Economists comment that they just take money from one pocket, from right pocket, and put it in left pocket. What was the money? It was the money of National Wealthy Fund. In fact, that money that should be used in emergency regime. Exactly this money they should pay now for everybody. As I know that in some countries, for people who are in this situation, like in USA, Trump pay you like 1,500 to every citizen. It's not like that in Russia. We don't receive any money. So, but what happened with this money? Government bought Sberbank that already belongs to state. So what it means? It means that in this national wealthy fund, money, liquids, was replaced on unliquids. It means that the volume of this fund, national wealthy fund, decrease. Now we can spend less money to help people around. What is the difference between Russia and Belarus? Belarus, there will be election in August of this year for Lukashenko, but for Putin, election is not very soon, in 4 years. And I know that in 4 years, we live in such a fast world that in 4 years, all the situation will be forgotten. A few words about France. I'm laughing of France because you continue to stay at home during 1 month already, and you will continue to do that during 2 months. Your level of contamination continue to be enough high. You have like 3,000-4,000 of new cases every day. Please, French people, what are you doing? You go to Capitalism or what? That is the funny, that only this situation, only this epidemic. I know French people, they're incredibly cowards, they're hypochondriacs, they take care about law and about health. So this pandemic really block these yellow gilets. There is no any protests. France, who fond of protests, who go to these strikes every week, now in the situation with no strikes. So looks like for Macron, for French state, for French capitalism, this pandemic is very useful. But in Russia, so we fight. In Russia, it's very useful for state to kill small business, but for political case, okay, coronavirus help us to protect. In Russia, it's very useful for state to kill small business, but for political issues, okay, coronavirus help a bit to our state to be protected against Putin. Because if you don't know, 22 April there should be a referendum with new changements to constitution, and after these changements, Putin could be new president forever. Maybe in one of my next video we will discuss these new changements. I hope this video was interesting for you. Thumbs up and subscribe on my channel.